Guess what, guys? This is a very special episode of the Book Bash. Not only is it episode 7, yes, you heard me correct, episode 7. Miranda and I finally finished Shield of Sparrows.
I finished mine a while ago.
So, this is we need a good music right here. Shield of Sparrows.
Aren't you such a nerd?
But guess what? Why do I keep doing that? In case you've missed previous episodes, not only are these beautiful copies of Shield of Sparrows, they're also signed and personalized.
By the wonderful Devney Perry herself.
Yes, Miranda is going to insert photos somewhere in the beginning of us getting to meet the lovely Devney Perry. Alright, reminiscing. I literally finished this at 1 a.m. this morning. So it's all fresh in my brain.
Yeah, you're a lot
because
faster
if you
than
watch
me.
if you've watched previous episodes, Ashley cannot remember anything about books, let alone character names.
I guess it's a good thing that we are talking about it now and not next week.
So I can make myself look bigger of an idiot than I did when I was talking to Devney.
Don't worry, I felt like that too. It was like starstruck. I don't know.
Well, she asked me a question, and I said, yeah, I've heard. She goes, how have you heard? I'm like, I don't know. I'm freaking out right.
It's funny too because you were probably more nervous than I was, and this is the first one of hers that you've actually finished. But I've read this was number 14 of her book that I've read.
15 of my
and I
120 books I've read this year.
I was really socially awkward when I met her. Very. She was like, have I met you before? I was like, I tag you in a lot of stuff. So
Instagram that tags you and everything.
Yeah, so not only did I make a fool of myself, but Ashley continued to make a fool of me later on. Because we went to two different signings. And that's why. So I went to a signing and then a week and a half later or something, she went to another signing. So it was different timing.
And then she lives kind of close to me. Not really close, but our schools play each other in sports. That kind of close. And she's and she said the name of my school, and she's like, we play each other in basketball. And I'm like, yeah, I've heard.
It's okay. It's okay. I mean, it's just the way it is, I guess, when you get awestruck by someone so cool and talented. Extremely talented right here. Anyway.
Well, on today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about our Feature Friday and who we've got to meet and hang out with. We're going to go into a little bit, touch our toes in the water, a little bit about what we are currently reading. We're going to do a deep dive into Shield of Sparrows and talk about our giveaways. We have so many going on right now.
Right? And more to come.
And more to come.
That I have not set up yet.
Yes. So, Miranda, let's talk about Feature Friday.
Okay. Yes. So, I feel like it's been really successful. Actually, way more successful than I thought it was going to be. So, we had... my lighting keeps going weird. We had 2 set up, and I was like, cool. This is going to work, right? And then all of a sudden, the emails just started, coming in. And all of a sudden, we have 4 scheduled to record this week. We did one this morning. And we have 3 more this week to record. And I'm like, how? How in the world is this happening to our little, run?
Our little baby podcast.
I know. We just started this, 4 months ago? And it's growing, guys. It makes me super nervous, but I'm also very excited. So yes, Feature Friday has been really successful. We are really enjoying having these indie authors come on and tell us about themselves and about the books that they're currently either working on or that have just published and are available to read. I'm doing my best to read all of them before we talk with the authors, but again, we have 3 more this week, so I don't know that that's going to happen. I'm trying, but we'll see.
And I just read at 1 a.m. finished Shield of Sparrows.
Right, yeah. So we're doing our best here. There's only so much time, but we're also coming up on summer, and we're both teachers. Yes. So although we have some other things going on in the summer, there's probably going to be a lot more book mash time.
Whoop, whoop.
So that should be fun too. But yeah, we want to say thank you to the authors that have either already recorded with us or that have signed up so far. If you have not checked out our Feature Friday on YouTube, we currently have streaming episodes with Nicole Lenz for Finders Keepers, and we have an episode with Cedar James for Text Me Never. Both of them super sweet. We really enjoyed having them on the show. They've been promoting, and we currently have a giveaway for Nicole Lenz's book, and we will upcoming soon have a giveaway for Cedar James's book, so keep on the lookout for that. But definitely watch the episodes. They were super fun, and they're kind of quick. They're like 12 to 15 minutes. So if you don't have time to watch a full episode of our podcast, those are going to be some fun ones to check out for you.
Love it. And then the author we have on Friday, this Friday, is Elise Knight. And the cool thing about Elise is her book isn't even finished yet. Her debut novel is not even finished left yet. Holy mac and cheese.
I know.
It's called Until My Last Breath. And it's like, the way she was explaining it, I follow her on TikTok, and I was like, hey, I know you're not done with your book yet, but we'd love to feature you on our podcast. Do you have like 20 minutes on a day of the week of your choice to just sit and talk to us? And she's like, well, my book's not done. And I'm like, we don't care. We just want to sit and get to know you, have readers get to know you, and that way, like I am, when you're building up the hype for your book, it's just gonna like hook us even more.
Mm-hmm.
So we're super excited to have her on this Friday. So make sure you guys are watching.
I can tell you right now, I knew just a little bit about what she was working on, and I'm reeled, guys. Like, the hook is in.
Miranda doesn't have TikTok.
I don't use TikTok, so our Book Mash TikTok is managed by Ashley, and I haven't seen a lot from Elise Knight, and I am super, super intrigued. I cannot wait to find out more about her book and have it be released so I can pick it up and read it, because I think it's going to be really, really good. Really.
Oh, I think so too.
Yeah, for sure.
I think so too. Okay, let's talk about what we are currently reading. Miranda?
All right.
Set her up.
I'm reading Heir of Darkness. I don't remember who the author is off the top of my head. Hold on. It is an ARC book that I just started after I read one of our upcoming Feature Friday author books. I jumped into this. It is by Layla Murick, Heir of Darkness. It's really good so far. I'm enjoying it. Yeah, I need to do my month overview for May so I can get that posted and have all my books on there. I haven't done that yet. It's on my to-do list. What are you going to jump into now that you finished this at 1 a.m. last night?
1 a.m. Well, number one, I need to give a shout out to our mother, because she was picking on me the last episode. Because for some reason, I don't know what it is. I don't know. But every time I go to sit down in front of this camera, I do a thing. I yawn 500 times.
True. Very true.
I don't know why. So, Mom, I'm sorry that I keep yawning. I don't mean to. I don't know if it's like my ring light or I'm gonna yawn.
Maybe it's just because you're like comfortable in your space or something.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. So if you see me yawning on here, I'm sorry. I'm not bored. I'm very excited. I've had coffee. I slept good last night. I don't know why I'm yawning. And then once I'm done right here, I won't yawn again all day. So anyway, there's just a little thing for my mom. So because it took me so long to read Shield of Sparrows. Are you laughing at me?
With you. I'm laughing with you. Don't worry.
Because it took me so long to read Shield of Sparrows, like Miranda said, we are both teachers. Okay? My grade level's a little bit younger than hers. Took me like a week and a half to read this. Yeah. So, when we did our spinner wheels last episode, not last week, I was supposed to read Fate Inked in Blood, and I didn't get to it. So, I'm starting that today.
Okay. I really want to talk to you about that.
Well, I almost bought the second one the other day, but I didn't. Here I go again.
That one I bit the bullet on because I normally don't buy books. And even ebooks, I don't buy them because I have Kindle Unlimited. Majority of the time I'm either reading an ARC that was sent to me or I'm reading something on Kindle Unlimited. And this one was not on Kindle Unlimited, but it was one that Nicole Lenz was reading, and I had it on my TBR for a long time. So when we did the spinner wheel and got romantasy, was that the Was it
I think so.
Yeah, it should have been romantasy. So when we got that on the spinner wheel and we picked it, I bit the bullet and I actually bought it on Kindle, and it was good. I can't wait to talk to you about it. So if you have watched Vikings, either the older Vikings or Vikings Valhalla, or if you have watched The Last Kingdom, you're going to love A Fate Inked in Blood. And I can also tell you that after doing like ancestry and going way, way back, Ashley and I do have roots like in famous Vikings like Ragnar Lothbrok, if you know who I'm talking about. So the fact that it's like it has the Viking Norse mythology and stuff is super cool. I'm just gonna say that. We can talk about it. We can talk about it more later.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Okay, we need our introductory music again. How did it go?
Did you have some of those freeze-dried milk duds that you sent to Cedar or something? Because you've got like sugar going on. I don't know.
I had potato chips and ranch.
Okay, not sugar, but okay, cool. Maybe the salt did it for you.
Carbs? Anyway, we're going to do our deep dive. I probably have a bruise. Our deep dive in Shield of Sparrows without actually being knocked out by the book.
Yes, let's not do that. Not advised. Do not try that at home.
Yeah, I'm a professional.
Okay. I'll go first because you just read it. So I want to know what your initial expectations of the book were when you were going into the book. What did you think? What did you expect? And how did that change?
So while I was standing in line at the signing, everybody's like, have you read it yet? And I'm like, no, not yet. And they're like, you haven't read it yet? And I'm like, well, I've been waiting for my physical copy of it. I know it's on Kindle Unlimited, but I am a physical reader. I only really read my Kindle like at night when my husband yells at me because I have one of those ugly neck light things with the like, and he rolls over and he's like, will you turn it on? So I normally only really read my Kindle then. And so I was waiting for my physical copy. I was like, where was I going with this? And everybody's like, oh my gosh, you're going to love it. And I'm like, okay. So when I started it, we need to have like a yawn counter. When I started it, I was like, okay. And then I was like, this isn't making any sense at first. Because it takes a while for me to get into a book. Like, I'm never opening the first, unless it's like the second one, I'll be super excited. But I'm opening the first couple pages, and I'm like, okay. And then I got 3 chapters in, and I was like, what's happening? Let's go. And it just the whole time. So at first I was like, okay, this just sounds like another book. I'm still kind of in my weird mood reading thing. And I don't know. At first I was not into it at all. But then it it quickly grabbed me and threw me over the cliff that Odessa went to jump off.
Right. So you're saying that at the point where Odessa cliff jumps, that's when you were diving into the book. Is that what you're saying?
Probably.
I like that.
Probably.
That's a good analogy.
Because it kind of reminded me, was it God of Malice, where she went to jump off the cliff right in the very beginning? I was like, oh great, this is how we're starting.
Yeah.
I already did not finish God of Malice. And this is how this one's starting. Literally the first page.
So I understand, but
what if I jumped? That's literally the first line.
The situations are completely different in this one than God of Malice.
Can you see what I'm
I understand. If you read God of Malice and you weren't really into it, and then you get that as your first impression, I get it. That makes sense. But
it was quickly changed. Quickly.
Good.
Ashley, if you don't like this, I'm throwing you over the cliff.
Did I tell you that? Because I feel like I should have.
No, you didn't tell me. The only thing you told me was, you're going to love it.
And did you?
That was all. Well, duh.
Okay. I feel better. Good. I was holding that in. Yes.
Did you see my Goodreads rating?
No, not yet. I haven't looked at it.
I thought.
7, 6, 7, 8, 10 stars. Yes.
Only do 5.
Infinite amount of stars.
Where's book 2?
Yeah, right?
I see why you also told me, do not read the last page.
Yeah,
because if you guys haven't seen the previous episodes, one weird quirk about me is I always read the last page of a book before I start it. And Miranda warned me, like, as I was in line for signing, you better not read the last page of the book. You'll ruin it.
Don't do that. I don't get it.
I didn't do it.
Yeah. My initial expectations, I knew it was going to be good because, I mean, hello, Devney. If you've read any of her books, you know that she's a brilliant writer. There's always going to be, like, the best plots. But this actually exceeded my expectations because if you know Devney's work, this is her first romantasy book. And
which you would have never guessed.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, normally she does contemporary romance. And the fact that it has such huge world building, not only with the locations and the settings, but the creatures and the characters, it's like, it's so developed that there is no way you can't get sucked into, like, this world. Definitely look at the map if you haven't read it ahead of time. And then if you look at it again.
I was so lost sometimes.
Yeah, if you look at it again when you're done, you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So when you get into the second one, you'll already know, like, where the places are, hopefully. I mean, maybe she'll incorporate new places. I don't know. But I think that will help me with the second one. And I actually want to read it again because I feel like there's some things, because I was breezing through it so quickly, that I probably missed. Like, details that I want to read again, like I did with Fourth Wing. There were a lot of things I noticed the second time around that I didn't notice the first time. So I would definitely read it again before I read the second one.
There was a couple times where I was like, that's where that gets tied into.
Yeah.
Like, I should have paid more attention at the beginning of the book about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We never said whether are we doing a spoiler-free discussion? I feel like that's necessary just because it's such a new book, and I don't want there's so many, like, unexpected and kind of, like, twists in there that I don't want to ruin for people. So we'll
do it as spoiler-free as humanly possible.
Yeah, right. Okay. All right, let's talk
about... But with Miranda and her editing skills, if there is a spoiler that I accidentally let go, she can add a spoiler alert.
Yeah, I will put a spoiler alert in there, for sure. Okay.
So just pay attention.
All right, let's talk about characters. How did you feel about Odessa's growth through the story? So she started out as this overlooked princess, and she becomes this empowered force. How did you feel about that change?
Well, like, in the beginning of the book, like you said, she's like an overlooked princess. Like, this is a little bit of a spoiler. She is like the princess that her father doesn't want to hand over to be wed. And, like, she totally isn't good enough. And then she automatically, like, they come in and they're like, well, we want her. And then her growth, like, to me, it was like, well, I'm going to show you I'm good enough. I'm going to learn all these skills. I'm going to be a hero. I'm going to be, and not even like a, how do I say it? Like a stereotypical hero. She does it on accident, or she does it just because it's the right thing. She's not like going out of her way to be like, I want to be the person that everybody looks up to when I'm in my castle on the balcony and I'm waving to everybody. Like, she doesn't want that. She just wants to do the right thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
She doesn't want the infamy. She just wants to be a good person, and she wants to feel useful because she's been so secluded and, like we said, overlooked her entire life. So now she has the chance to branch out away from her father and her sister and her stepmom and be her own person. So she's trying to figure out, like, who she is outside of that, while also trying to figure out, like, how her life is going to progress with these changes that are happening to her inadvertently. So I agree.
And she's, like, given a task by her father. I'm not telling you the task, but she's given a task by her father. And, like, in the beginning of the story, she's all about that task and, like, making sure that she does right by her father. And in the end, she's like, well,
she has to do right by herself. And that's what she is working towards.
Yeah. So I was very proud of her.
Me too.
I feel like she was only doing it for her.
Yeah.
At the end.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everything's about her.
And that's the way it should be. Like, you can't take care of other people if you don't take care of yourself first. So the fact that she was learning to take care of herself and do things that she felt was good for her and not just the people around her was definitely a growing moment for her character. Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about Xavier. Did you trust him at first?
This is such a hard question.
I know, especially without spoiling anything.
No, I did not trust Prince Xavier at first. So
you knew something was off.
Yeah, there was something weird when they show up in the throne room and they're like, "No, we don't want the princess that was promised to us. We want her instead." Okay, why? What is going on?
Mm-hmm.
So no, I didn't trust him. I'm going to leave it at that because I don't want to give anything away. Yeah.
At the end, did you trust him?
Yeah. Yes.
Gosh, you guys need to read this.
It's so hard. I can't wait for more people to like read it and like the second one comes out because then there's going to be spoilers everywhere and we could just like talk freely and not worry.
Yeah. We'll have to do like another round 2
with spoilers. Yeah, like how Erica with a CK, when she talks about Zodiac Academy, she like gives her spoiler-free version of her experience reading it, and then she'll do like a spoiler version. So maybe we'll have to do that later on and just talk about all the craziness that is Shield of Sparrows.
Oh man. Oh, add another to the on counter.
I know, there you go.
Sorry.
Let's look at some of the themes in the book. So there is the idea of gods, there's monsters, there's these old treaties, like the Treaty of the Shield of Sparrows, and there's a lot of lore. Did that enhance the political drama for you in the book?
I think it kind of built it, because that's, like, the treaties are because of, like, the monsters, and, like, it all is kind of tied in together. So at first, I was like, oh, it's back in the old days where, like, the men had the right to choose everything kind of a thing. And, like, I hate that stuff, and that's one reason, like, I really like, what's it called? The TV show.
Game of Thrones?
Yes, Game of Thrones. Why could I not remember? I think that's one reason I really liked Game of Thrones, because there is still a little bit of the men in control thing. Not that I'm, but the women in Game of Thrones were so strong and, like, so important.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of, like, how this was, but when I first started reading, I'm like, great, we have the men who think that they control the world when we already know it's the women. And they're going to do what they want to do, hence walking in and going, I don't want that princess, I want this one. Like, that they got to pick.
Right.
And then when you hear, like, the story behind the Shield of Sparrows and, like, why they do it, it's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it was even better that they had such a strong character in Odessa to kind of build off of that. Because I think if she was, like, super weak, I would have been like, well, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I could read this.
I agree. Yeah, we definitely needed a strong, very, how to say it, a headstrong main female character for this book, for sure. Yeah.
There's lots of points in the story where she just says no, like, no explanation behind it. And I'm like, you
girl.
Tell them, sister.
Yeah. Don't let them walk all over you.
You tell them. Yeah. I loved it.
Yeah.
Because that's me in the show. That's me.
Very headstrong. Very headstrong. For sure.
I know I am.
I'm just talking about Odessa, but whatever.
Okay, what do you think of the monster lore? Was it creepy enough?
Yeah, and they're so cool. Have you seen the character art for those?
Yes.
I need some plushies, let me tell you. Like, need.
That'd be so cute.
Yeah, so cool. I'm kind of, so...
We're actually working on a space in Miranda's office for us to come record together instead of like this. And we were talking about, like, our background and stuff, and we could put those, like, on a shelf.
There you go.
Behind.
I mean, I have a Harry Potter shelf over there.
Shield of Sparrows shelf would be so much cooler.
I need, like, a Fourth Wing shelf and a Shield of Sparrows shelf. Like, I need shelves upon shelves upon shelves. Yeah. So talking about the monsters, I like that there was character art, but I also feel like Devney explained what they looked like well enough for me to know what they look like before I saw the character art. Yes, very cool. How she came up with it is like brilliant.
I think it's cool that there was so much like anxiety towards, what are they called, the crew or the Kruk, yeah, whatever they're called at the end, like coming.
Yeah, the Kruk.
Yeah, there was so much like build up that, here's a spoiler thing, like when they did come, you're like, oh
yeah, this is serious business,
you know what I mean?
guys.
Yeah, we ain't messing around no more.
Scary stuff.
And then the description of them, like while they're there, like you're looking at it in your head and you're like, oh.
Yeah, like you are experiencing what they're experiencing. The imagery is so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I
like
agree.
claws on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Like she explained how deep they were.
Yes.
Yeah.
So good.
Mhm.
So good.
Yeah.
Side bit. Okay. So the other day I saw on Instagram, Devney was talking to the director that is going to create the adaptation for this. Can I say how excited I am that this is going to be turned into film?
I know.
Yeah. Ashley, we are going to the movie theater. Maybe even more than...
We're at the midnight release.
Maybe more than once. I don't know. This might be like us as teenagers going and seeing movies 3 times in the theater. This might be the one.
Like Superbad 2 times in 24 hours?
Yeah, there were a select few we saw more than once. I think we went to Stomp the Yard twice.
Oh, I think so too.
I mean,
and I think we wanted to go right after we watched it the first time, but it was like the last showing and we couldn't go, so we had to go back the next day.
Why those movies are the ones we were stuck on?
If you've seen Superbad, you understand.
Yeah, that one was fun, because we watched that one in Seattle, so that was pretty cool. The movie theaters there were so much different than the ones we have where we live.
Yeah, they're huge.
Yeah, I can imagine what they look like now, but yeah, that was fun. Yeah, but yes, movie. We're gonna go to the movie and we're going to film some reactions or something.
I was gonna say we might need to vlog it.
Yes, yeah.
I need to buy a camera for us. That's my next thing.
Don't worry, we won't
so that
film...
when we go to signings and stuff.
Yeah, we won't film the screen.
Like Emily Rath.
Yeah, we do have Emily Rath coming up in August, so that'll be cool.
Oh, it's gonna be good.
I need to read the rest of her books. Okay.
I need to start it.
Back to Shield of Sparrows, since we got off topic here. How do you feel about the balance between romance and fantasy in the book?
So I was excited that I feel like, and I'm like the smut reader, okay? I will gladly wear that badge. Like smut is like my alleyway. And I remember when one of my son's teachers was like, Ashley, have you read Fourth Wing? And I'm like, no. And she goes, oh, it's a fantasy book. And I'm like, no, I'm not reading fantasy. Like the only fantasy I had ever read was Harry Potter. And I was more into the movies than I was the book. And so when she's like, you have to read it, I'm like, and then I read it. And I was so glad that I did. And then I immediately jumped into Iron Flame. And then I was dying because of Onyx Storm. And then I tied Miranda into Fourth Wing. And so, like, what I'm trying to say is I am a huge smut reader. But I think right now I'm kind of, like, smuttied out. Because a lot of my romance books have been, like, contemporary romance and not so much the smut. So I was so glad that there was a lot more fantasy in this. A lot more, like, world building and character development. And, I mean, she still had, like, the innocent feelings in her head and, like, you know what I mean? And there wasn't a lot until the end, and I think that build-up made it so much better when it happened. And
I think everyone knows that there are love interests in the book, so I think it's okay to say that. We're just not...
I'm just not saying names.
Yeah.
But, to me, like, because she did such a good job, like, with the story, when we got to the part when there was the romance, it was like a breath of fresh air, right? Because you've been holding your breath the whole time, and that it was like needed. Mm-hmm. And then the rest of it just kind of flowed. It wasn't, not that I don't love Fourth Wing or Iron Flame, but in those I feel like there was a lot of, how do I say this without being weird? A lot of like unnecessary smut. Do you know what I mean? like, I just need to fill a chapter, so we're going to do a chapter of relations. In this, I didn't feel like it was like that. I felt like they were diving into their relationship, and it was definitely necessary, if that makes sense, without spoiling anything.
No, I understand what you're saying. I don't wholly agree that there is that. Oh my gosh, the lighting in here. That there's that unnecessary like spice in Fourth Wing, because I feel like Rebecca does a good job of like having substance.
No, she definitely does.
Yeah, so Devney also does that. Like, if you've read any of her books, there is so much substance and plot going in the book that when you do have like the romance spicy scenes, they aren't like, I'm trying to think of how I can explain this. It's not just filler. Like, it's necessary in the development of the characters and how they are moving towards each other, and how the characters are building not only with their relationship together, but their relationship like with themselves and how they're progressing as a character. So I do agree that like throughout the book it might have that slow kind of burn going, but I do agree also that the romance needed to take kind of a backseat to the fantasy, because there's so much going on in this world, not just with the setting and like the overall arc, but with each of the characters themselves, that we need to know them as people first, but before we can know them as like someone in a relationship.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
There was just so much fantasy in here that she had to build.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not that it's overwhelming, but it's a lot.
It is a lot. She does a good job of explaining it in a way that it's not like, oh my gosh, I don't want to read this because there's too much world building. Like, the way that she explains it immerses you in it right out of the gate. And so instead of trying to figure out what's going on here, it's all like encompassing, and you feel like you're a part of the world as you're learning.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Yes.
I loved it.
Me too.
Were there moments or scenes that really stood out in terms of writing or atmosphere?
All of it?
I know.
The whole thing is like writing gold. This is probably my favorite book right now.
I think so too.
I really love it. Like, I could probably read it 4 times and not get bored with it.
I literally told Brian that he's reading or listening to Zodiac Academy. And I told him, I was like, add this one to the end of your Zodiac Academy lineup.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, I still have a while. And I'm like, well, add this one to it. Because now he's going off of my recommend. He's like a end of the world sci-fi.
Dystopian, kind of. Yeah.
Well, I feel like it's further than dystopian.
Yeah.
That's what he normally listens to. Like infections and stuff like that. And when I read, or I think it was the same time you started reading Fourth Wing, and I'm like, Brian, you need to listen to this. And he goes, I'm not listening to that. Because he knows some of my books, like Flock or Haunting Adeline. He knows how those end up. And he's like, I don't want to read that. And so he listened to those ones. And I think he didn't finish Onyx Storm before me. I did. Because I'm like, we're listening to it in the car. And he kept falling asleep. And I'm like, wake up!
You're gonna
and listen to it. It's like the last chapter. And he's like, what? And I'm like, listen. And he goes, I am. I'm like, no, you're sleeping and you're going to miss something important. If you know, you know. So now, I started reading Zodiac Academy, and he's heard all about it. And then he started listening to it. And he's doing it in the Erica with the CK's way that she did it. And so now I'm like, add Shield of Sparrows, because I think you're going to like it. He goes, don't. I'm like, yeah, add it.
Yeah, Zodiac Academy, it can be pretty overwhelming. It could take a while.
I've only read the first one so far.
You'll get there.
I know. I have so much to do.
Yeah, that's okay. You'll get there.
Just kidding.
Would you recommend Shield of Sparrow? Oh my gosh. Would you recommend it? Duh. What type of reader would you recommend it to?
Everybody.
Yes.
I feel like I'm the friend or the teacher that recommended Fourth Wing to me. I feel like I'm going to be that person with this.
Yeah.
Have you read it? You haven't read it? Well, here you go.
Uh-huh.
Well, not my copy.
Yeah, no.
Signed, but
These are special. Not getting rid of these. Ever.
I think this one And Nicole and Cedar's books are going to go up there.
Yeah, I need
'Cause I'm buying
special
new
stuff
ones from-
too. I have, I think 4 signed copied books that I need to like.
Oh, signed copied books.
Hey, book mashers, how do you preserve your signed books? Like, do you have do you just leave them? Do you put them in like a sleeve? Do you have like something that you stick on here to make sure that it stays like nice and pristine? Like what's your recommendation? Throw it in the comments because I
I feel
want to
like
know.
you could buy like clear vinyl and just put it over it.
No, but that's so scary. 'Cause what if you like wrinkle it and then I don't want to mess it up, but I want to save it. Like tell us what you think. How would you help us with this?
Just leave it.
Probably just leave it. Yeah, maybe I need to just like have a slip to put the whole book in, like a protective bag.
Maybe just vacuum sealed the whole book.
Yeah,
Put it in like a sleeve and just vacuum sealed it like people do when they're moving.
maybe. Yeah, tell us your ideas. What do you do? Do you do anything? Do you just leave them on the shelf? Like, there's book mold too. Like, I don't want this book molded. Have you ever seen people with their book mold?
Yeah, I'm in a group on Facebook where people like exchange books. And everybody's like, I just exchanged this book. What is this?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, it's book mold. And she's like, I'm throwing it away.
And I'll have you know that, like, the sprayed edges are currently running out of stock and there won't be more. So, yeah. I want to save it. So you guys,
There's 2 at my Walmart.
there were 2 when I went to my Walmart the other day too.
I almost grabbed another one just to have it.
Oh goodness! I mean, it would have been a good giveaway.
It would have.
Maybe sometime later we could do that.
Speaking of giveaways, we're not spinning the wheel today because, like we said in the beginning of the episode, we have a lot of feature authors coming. And as much as I love giving away big author books, I'd rather give away small author books. Because number one, we are helping support the small authors when they let us. Because the authors we have on currently are being beyond extraordinary. And we offered, I don't know if I can say this, we offered to buy the books to give away, and they said no. You had us on your podcast. We would love to give those away to people. And I still offered to purchase them, and they told me no. So a lot of our Feature Friday authors are giving away books, and we don't want their books to be lost in our regular episode giveaways. So when our big giveaways, our bigger author giveaways, or when our smaller author giveaways start to trickle out, maybe if that ever happens, then we'll go back to doing our bigger book giveaways, and maybe we'll do like 1 book a month and give it away, just so that we can still give something away. But we want to spotlight the indie authors and the smaller authors on our platform. Right. Not that these authors don't deserve that, because these authors definitely do, but it's just something we can do to give back to them. So, if you go back on any of our Featured Friday lists, there are the directions on how to enter their giveaways, and there's also the links to their websites or Kindle Unlimited or whatever we have on there that you can go purchase if you don't win. I know Nicole Lenz's books on Kindle Unlimited. Cedar's is right. Well, the other day it was like number 31 in top, what was it, business writings or something on Amazon.
That's so cool.
Huge. Congratulations if you're watching this, Cedar. You deserve it. Both are great books. Hilarious. Giddy. So yeah. So right now until the 8th, which is
coming up, it's on Sunday next week.
Sunday. So today until Sunday, you guys have until Sunday to go enter that giveaway. It's all on our Instagram page. Go find it, enter. You also can go buy your own copy on Amazon.
Or on Nicole's website. She has those on her website.
Yeah, or on Nicole. And I believe they're signed if they're from our website, right?
I believe so. That's what it says. She can tell us whether that's correct or not.
So, Nicole, if you're watching this, will you let us know? Because I need to buy one for me if it's autographed.
Yeah, for sure. Wait.
I would love to have a shelf just of Feature Friday books.
Yeah, that would be so cool. These are the authors that we've talked to. That would be amazing.
So that when they become big, huge
Traditionally
authors,
published
we can say,
authors.
well, did you get to sit with her on her podcast when she released her debut
Right.
novel? No? Oh, well, I did.
I have another side note. I have seen a lot on Instagram, on threads, about how authors that were previously indie authors have become traditional authors. And I put something on my Instagram and I posted it. But people are giving so much hate to these authors that are becoming traditionally published. Like Penn Cole. You're really mad at Penn Cole for getting traditionally published? Like, why? Callie Hart,
He's celebrated.
LJ Andrews, all of these authors. Okay, you do not get mad that I wrote this analogy on my Instagram, but it fits. Do you get mad when a minor league baseball player joins the majors? No, you don't get mad at them. Do you get mad when an NFL player gets pulled in the draft? No, you don't get mad at them. You celebrate them because that is their goal. That's what they're striving to do. So even though you might have to wait longer for books to come out, you might have to pay more for their books. Like, if you are a true fan of their work, you won't be angry about them reaching that next level. So we should be supporting these authors that are getting traditionally published instead of putting them down. So I just need to throw that out there because that was really irritating me. Like, these authors are getting upset by people just throwing so much shade at them for doing something that they love, and that should be celebrated. That shouldn't be the case. Yeah, they should be celebrated and enjoy their writing still. Just because they're a traditional author doesn't mean you can't still enjoy the stories that they're putting out for you. So, side note, I just have to throw that out
I have
there.
2 side notes.
Okay.
Speaking of like major league and minor league, did you hear that the MLB, or no, you sent that to me.
I sent that to you. Yes, MLB has started invested in a softball league. Yeah, so cool.
I am a middle school softball coach, and Miranda knows. Like, I'm going on a tangent. I've loved softball my entire life, and I like live, breathe, eat, sleep softball.
Yeah.
And read. And that was another thing that kind of kept me from reading so much the last 2 months, as I was also coaching softball. And Miranda sent that to me, and I literally screamed because it's about dang time.
Yeah.
And then, other side note, I am mad at you.
Mad at me? Why? What did I do?
Yeah. Remember when I went to Barnes & Noble and bought the Devney Perry book?
Yeah.
And I told you I needed to know which one in the series was the first one.
For what?
Whichever one I bought.
Are you talking about Crossroads?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I bought the other series. I'll have to send you a picture. The one you told me was the first one was not the first one.
The only one you asked me about was the Crossroads series.
No, it was the other one too.
Or are you talking about the Eden's series?
Sure.
You'll have to show me later. You could
in our picture
look it up. You could have looked it up.
Not when I'm on the phone with you.
You could get mad at me. It's all good. I'll take it. When we were talking about the whole MLB thing, they also they are investing in the Savannah Bananas League to be part of the MLB. So it'll be like the Harlem Globetrotters, where they're going to go around and tour and stuff. So that'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I love the Savannah Bananas. Start a whole new podcast about random thoughts and side notes. I
was just going to say, in order to make this bookish, okay, Low Everett has the best baseball series I've ever read. Low Everett and Indy Valentine. Okay, those are two.
I haven't read that far yet.
Two good baseball authors right there. Low Everett, Indy Valentine. There we go. Because we like baseball.
We do
Go
like
Yankees.
Baseball. Go Yankees! And no, we're not bandwagoners.
Just so we could throw that out there and make it bookish and not just random facts about the MLB.
I don't even know how we got there.
I don't know.
No?
Other giveaway. So we talked about Nicole Lenz's giveaway. We still have the giveaway from our spinner wheel from May. So there are 4 books to choose from. That one is ending on the 10th. So if you've not entered to win that, go ahead and enter. There will be 2 winners where you can choose one of the 4 books that are an option for you to choose from. So that will be our last big giveaway before we start just focusing on the indie author giveaways for a while. So if you haven't signed up for that, please do.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
If you've read Shield of Sparrows, tell us what you think in the comments. Don't give spoilers away, though, because as we mentioned, we're trying to make it so that there's not a bunch of spoilers. That way, people that are still reading it can enjoy the world and the beautiful chaos on their own.
Yes.
You can talk to us in the comments on YouTube. You can talk to us on Instagram. You can talk to us on TikTok. We have a Facebook page. We have Discord, but it hasn't really been used very much. So if you want to jump on there and start some conversations with us, we would love to chat with you. So if you want to jump onto our Discord,
our Discord is free.
Yeah, jump on there. We'd love to talk with you about some things that you're reading or the things that we're reading. Like we mentioned earlier, we do have Elise Night that will be our Feature Friday for this week. So watch out for the promos on our social media, and that video will be on YouTube on Friday this week. So that is June 6th. And then we have 3 other authors that we are recording this week as well. I don't know exactly when we'll have those up, but we'll keep you updated for that.
We might have to be posting to it.
I know, we might have to do more than one each week because there are so many.
What do we have, like 9 signed up total?
A lot, yeah. I just was delivered.
Nova.
I was just delivered a puppy.
Nova puppy.
Yeah, she's giving the kids a hard time, so she's with me.
It's okay.
All right. I think that's it. So stay bookish, stay mashed, and we'll catch you in episode 8. What? Yeah, crazy.
Bye, guys.